Welcome back to Northern Exotics. In this video we are going to be doing a full in-depth review on this. In my eyes, the best bearded dragon UVB lighting system I've ever come across, for a number of reasons which we'll go through in this video. So what is this? This is the Reptile Systems Twin T5 Luminaire UVB lighting systems. It's an absolute amazing bit of kit, and it comes in 3 different sizes. The sizes are all determined on wattage. The size I've got is the sort of medium size, and it's just absolutely amazing. This is the 24 watt that I'm going to be reviewing today. I've had it in the enclosure for 8 months now. So we're also going to be checking the UVB bulbs that come with this product and just see how they last over the 8 months. To do that, we've got a solar meter which will tell us exactly how much UVB is still coming out of those bulbs and at what depths they actually work. Now, the thing that I absolutely truly love about this product is not only how nice and sleek and just it looks absolutely perfect. I mean, it can go on top of your mesh topped enclosures like your big Repti Breezes, your Exo Terras. It can go inside the wooden vivariums with a simple mounting bracket that comes with it. It can be suspended inside taller enclosures like Savannah monitor enclosures, which is something I'm saving up for my Savannah monitor. This isn't just for bearded dragons. This is for anything that requires a sort of traditional 12% UVB output. However, the 2 UVB bulbs that come with it, you get a 12% and a 6%. Now, why do you get the 2? Why is it a twin canopy? Well, that's because you can add a sunrise in the morning, that normal 12% that you could actually normally have in your bearded dragons enclosure. However, in the middle of the day, you can ramp it up so that you have the higher UVB output that the animals would naturally see in the wild. Naturally in the wild, they'll either go out and soak it up and sunbathe just like you and I normally would on holiday, or they'll take for cover, they'll run into a hide, they'll go under a bush so they get the dappled light, all that sort of stuff. And then towards the latter part of the day, it'll just fade off into a sunset. That can be achieved with this piece of equipment. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I'm so surprised that nobody else actually really uses this. There's a lot of them gone out there. This is high in a load of the zoos you go to. They'll all have these. So it's my turn to review it. Like I say, it's been in there 8 months. Let's go talking about it. So we're going to start off with the actual sunrise, that higher UVB output and the sunset sort of technology that's built in within this, simply because that's the reason I wanted this. I wanted to give it a much more natural feel for my bearded dragon so that more of his natural behaviours would come out. If it got a bit too much UVB, he'd take for cover. If it wasn't enough, he'd climb up and get a bit closer to it. That sort of behaviour is what I was looking for, and I got that with this. Now, how did I do it? Well, it's simple. There's no technological buttons and programming stuff or anything. There's nothing like that. It's so simple. It's a simple case of 2 timers. You have 2 UVB bulbs in this, which I've already explained. They're just standard T5 bulbs, 6% and a 12%. 1 plug for each bulb. That's as simple as it gets. In the wall sockets, obviously it takes 2 plugs. So you put timers with each plug. So you set your 6% to come on first. That will come on, slowly wake your animal up. Then your 12% will come on, but your 6% will go off. And you've adjusted this through the timers in your wall. You've got your 12%, middle of the day, for a couple of hours, both the bulbs will come off, both the 12% and the 6%, and that will just give it that higher UVB output that it naturally have in the wild, and the same for a sunset. So then your 6% will go off, leaving just your 12% on. Then your 12% will go off, but your 6 will come on and give it that little bit of teetering off for the sunset. That is a feature that I didn't even know I wanted until I saw it. I was like, oh my God, that's absolutely amazing. I want that. And it worked. My bearded dragon is amazing. He's adjusted to the natural behaviours. I'm seeing loads of the natural behaviours come out in him, which is absolutely what I want. I have altered his enclosure slightly. I've given him a bit more hiding places if he so feels the need to hide. He's got a bit more dappled light if he wants to just hide out a little bit. He's got more climbing space, so if he wants to get closer to the UVB strip lights, he can get closer. And it really is working. He's using his enclosure a lot more. He's a lot more mobile. He's all over the place. His feeding response is better. Everything is better, and I solely put it down to this. Now, why is it so important to do this for my bearded dragon? Why was I so passionate about giving him a naturalistic environment, both lighting, heating and general environment? Why is that so important? Quite simply, mental enrichment. It's as simple as that. He's now using his brain. Oh, the UVB's that little bit more uncomfortable now. I'll run and hide underneath the log. I'll hide underneath this dappled light. He can thermoregulate not only his temperature, but his UVB intake, his output. He's thinking like an animal would think in the wild. And it's just a constant mental enrichment that I absolutely love. But not only the mental enrichment, if he wants to get closer to the UVB lights, he climbs up the log that I've put in there. That's given him muscle enrichment, body enrichment. He is absolutely fascinating and he's not bored. I can guarantee you for a fact he is highly enriched, which is both body and mind, which is what everybody wants. You've seen all these people in lockdown like we are right now, that are going out of their mind because they can't leave their house. Bearded Dragon can't leave his house, so you may as well make his environment extra special, exactly how it would be in the wild. A few of the other added features in with this is its waterproof adapters that plug your bulbs into, so if you are using it in a slightly higher humidity enclosure, you can feel safe that it won't crack, it won't dry out, it won't do anything rot over time or anything like that. It seems to be working absolutely perfect for me and my Bearded Dragon. Again, it's T5 bulbs, so not only will your standard T5 UVB lighting fit into it, but the T5 New Dawn LED lights will actually fit into it as well. It's got a full built-in reflector inside the unit itself, so that it can fire all the UVB rays directly down. It's absolutely fascinating. It's ultra sleek. It's only about that sort of deep. That's about it. It's got super clean cable layouts. It's so easy to use as well. It's just a case of attach the two brackets to the ceiling of the vivarium, clip it in, done. The cable layout just straight out of one of the vents. It's dead sleek, dead clean. It's just, I highly rate this product for a number of reasons, as you can tell by this actual video. It's got an IP65 water resistant rating on it, which is absolutely fantastic. It just basically means it will withstand the higher humidity that you actually need. If you want to see a video dedicated to just this product, I personally made one on the Reptile Systems YouTube page. I filmed it, edited it. It's, in my eyes, the best video I've ever made. I'm really proud of that video. So if you can, go over there and have a look. I'll link it just there. But let's go over and test the bulbs with the solar meter and see how long they have actually lasted. Are they still up to the current standards for these? So we've been talking about this. Now let's go and talk about the UVB bulbs that are built in with it. Down here is Diego, my Bearded Dragon's enclosure, just here. You can see it's all lit up really well. He's actually currently sat there on his log. Let me tell you what this is. This is my solar meter. This tells you the UVI rating that is being shown inside the enclosure. So whatever the UVB output is, it'll show you on here. It doesn't show you in a percentage or anything like that. It shows you in Ferguson zones. Ferguson zones for a Bearded Dragon are between sort of 2 and 5. If they want to get that bit higher and get closer to it, if they feel the need to, they can, and so on and so on. But that's basically all this is. We just hold it under there. You've got the little sensor on the top. You press the button and hold it, and it comes up with a UVI rating. That is a UVI rating of 0, simply because we're in the house, there's no UVB lights. There is UV outside, but it doesn't pass through glass. If you want to see a video on how I actually test what UVB passes through, i.e. we tested it underneath a mesh topped enclosure, underneath glass, and so on and so on and so on, I did do a video on that. If I can find it, I'll link it just there. There he is, just hiding out on his cold side. He's not got the light just there. You can see the light unit just there. At the minute, both the lights are on, the 6% and the 12%, and that's simply because it's that time of day. He's just chilling out up there, relaxing, maxing, acting all cool, and yeah, I ain't gonna break into song and dance. But this is how I adjusted the enclosure. You can see we've got an absolute perfect sort of area down there. If he wants to go and hide out, he can. He can hide out exactly where he is, because as you can tell, it's not directly underneath the UVB lighting, so he can get out the way if he really wants to. Underneath that log, you can see the shadows and a bit more dappled light under there. He's got another cave all the way down there, and he's obviously basking spot down there. And this is it. So both the lights are on. They've been on now for around about 45 minutes. It's just that time of day where they're both on, the middle of the day, the higher UVB output that I'm naturally giving him. As you can see, he's dappled over into that corner there, so he wants to be out of it as much as possible. So remember, between 2 and 5 is the sort of Bearded Dragon Ferguson zones. this is what I've got. So I'll put it on the floor. No, I won't. I'll put it right by his head. That's level with his head. He's got 1.1, so he is out of the actual UVB light. Let's move over. If he wanted to go on the floor and just sunbathe just there, let's have a go at that. 2. Bang on the floor. He wants to sunbathe there, absolutely fine. That's the lower end of good quality for a bearded dragon. Now, if he wanted to really sunbathe and really start cooking and feel that UVB pumping really deep into his deep tissue, he can climb all the way up to the top of this log. Now, this I'm expecting to be above normal. So that's the sensor there. 4. Absolutely perfect. That's the sort of close to the upper end of normal for him. So if he wanted to go there, he can. If he wanted to climb up the background, he can. Absolutely fine. Let's have a look somewhere else. Right on the edge here, where he can actually climb to. 3.2, 3.3. That does absolutely fine. Now, keep in mind, these bulbs have been in now for 8 months. 8 months. Now, exactly where his head is again. 1. 0.9. So that's where he feels comfortable right now. That's where he can go perfectly fine. As I say, there's no UV there. Let's go further over to the middle of his log, because if you have a look, his log is on a slant so that he can climb and get closer to the UV. So let's say he goes there, right underneath it. Look at that, 5.5. That's his head is obviously sticking up there. So if he really wanted to get underneath it, he can perfectly fine. Same again up here. If he wanted to, he can perfectly fine. Absolutely amazing. So why was it lower there than what it is there? That's because that's where the 12% UVB bulb is actually shining down to, and at the back of the bulb, further back in the enclosure, is the 6%. So let's get it up right. See, there you go, 3.7, but the same height here, 5.6. So he has got an absolute, he can really use his mental enrichment to find out where he wants to go. Now, if you want to go under here and just escape all the rays altogether, look at that, 0. Absolute 0. 1. Come out a little bit. It's got 1. Straight under the shadow, nothing. So that's a good point to make if your animal's going into brumation. If he wants to go into the hideout, just note he won't have any UVB under the hideout. This is just all fascinating little bits of enrichment ideas that I love. I absolutely love this enclosure, and that lighting unit is just exactly why. You're going to say bye, Diego. Bye-bye. Subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Boo, 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 boo. You know what, guys? That's really surprised me how good those bulbs down there are still working really well. So what I've done, I've come back a few hours later because there's something I want to test. In this enclosure right now, it's down to just the 6% bulb. It's been on a 6% bulb for around about 20 minutes or so. So I'm going to check it. And then I'm going to check the same bulb in that enclosure that's a different company bulb. So let's give this one a go now. Here we go. There he is. He's settled down for the night. He's been really active today. Up here, as you can tell, we've only got one light on. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to check it at 30 centimeters, which I know for a fact is there. 0.9, 1, 0.9, and that's the 6% at 30 centimeters. So this one is my Callot's Versicolors enclosure. He's got his bulb up there. It's been there the same amount of time as the other one, just a different manufacturer. I've measured it at 2 fingers length from his water bowl, is exactly 30 centimeters from the sensor to the bulb. So let's have a look. 0.8. So there's a 20% difference in that bulb compared to the one that's in my bearded dragon's enclosure. It just goes to show then that the Reptile Systems ones are 20% better. That's basically as far as going down the line of duration, longevity. That one is a very popular company's branded UVB bulb. So it did surprise me actually. I was honestly expecting that to do on par with that one. Believe it or not, that one's more expensive as well. So yeah, the one in the bearded dragons is 20%, lasts 20% longer than the one in the Callot's Versicolors enclosure. There's a bit of information for you. So basically, thanks for tuning in, guys. That is the Reptile Systems Twin T5 Luminaire. If you want to go over to their channel, their YouTube channel, and have a look at some of the other videos that I've recorded for them, I'll leave their channel card just there. Click on that. That one's mine. These two over here are just a couple of videos that you might want to check out. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace out.